Alright, so I wanted to make a quick video about this. It wasn't on my list of videos to make, but I think it's definitely worth talking about before the Halo Infinite gameplay reveal in 2 weeks. I came across a certain video that got my brain fired up, and thus this video was born. You should go watch it. It's not a bad video, it's important to hear all sides. The video was about how the community should curb their hype and not get themselves hyped up just to be disappointed given the track record of 343. While I don't necessarily disagree, I think this topic is way more important than people realize, not just for the franchise itself, but potentially for Microsoft and the next generation of gaming. So, let's start with the question. Should you be excited for Halo Infinite? I have no clue. And to be honest, no one does. We haven't really seen the game yet, in all fairness. All we have to go off of are essentially 2 teaser trailers and 343's abysmal track record on the Halo franchise. And that's where the issue gets a bit complicated. On one hand, you have the sour taste in your mouth from, more specifically, what Halo 5 Guardians did to us. And on the other hand, we have the 2 teaser trailers, which makes you think that 343 has learned from their mistakes and are taking steps in the right direction with the franchise, based on the returning art style and the returning music, which I sort of made a video about, and you should go over there and slap that like button on it. Please, thank you. I'm starting to see the growing sentiment within the community that if you're getting yourself hyped for this game, that you're a part of the problem. But is that even accurate? Look at Halo 5.
Look at it! It's ugly, isn't it?
The hype for that game was off the charts, mostly because of its marketing campaign, which turned out to be a bucket of lies.
So that was a fucking lie.
Despite the fact that it was rated well by critics, the community turned on that game faster than people realized that Epstein didn't kill himself.
Oh my god! Wow!
But seriously, blaming the community for 343's mistakes isn't the way to go, not to mention not entirely true. I'm willing to bet that we are the reason why Halo Infinite changed for the better the way that it did, because it sure as hell wasn't because of what the reviewers said. So, I asked the question again, should you be excited for Halo Infinite? It's entirely up to you. Despite everything and how most of the community feels like,
お前はもう死んでいる。何?
there's a few optimists out there that have hope that 343 can turn this ship around. In all fairness, I'm not holding my breath on it succeeding in grand fashion. At the very least, the franchise gets pointed in the right direction. But even then, I'm not placing my bets on that either. We've seen the return of the old art style and the old music, and that's enough for some people to start to feel hope again. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. Hope isn't a bad thing to have, considering this is pretty much their last chance. The failure of this game will not only quite possibly kill the franchise, but it also might sink the Xbox Series X along with it. It's a big deal. Xbox and Halo are in the same boat right now, but I fear that there's so much pressure for Halo to succeed that it's bound to disappoint at some capacity. Microsoft is heavily relying on this game, which is no surprise considering Xbox's lack of interesting and new IPs. They spent $500 million on this game.
This is either the best decision you've ever made or the worst. Hell of it is, Chief. I doubt I'll live long enough to find out which.
Regardless, I don't think that the community getting together in collective optimism and hype for what could possibly be the final send-off for the Halo franchise should be frowned upon. For better or worse, this is it. For the fans and possibly for both companies, Microsoft and 343. Either way, all we can do is just sit back, relax, try not to get our panties in a bunch, and see what happens in 2 weeks for the reveal, and the real test at launch. We will definitely be revisiting this topic in 2 weeks after the reveal. If you made it to the end of this video, once again, I want to say thank you for giving me another shot. This is going to be a wild ride, not just for Halo, but for other games as well. This is only the beginning. Thanks for joining me on this journey. Like, subscribe, and all the other good stuff, and see you in the next one.